I guess you could say. Not afraid to all chat. Meanwhile, EHOME just silent.
Yeah, and also, like I said before, there's that kind of rivalry of like CTY is the one who replaced him in his old team. There's also, I think I saw when Winter was translating earlier on the stream I was watching, that like they were asking the players like who they don't like, and everyone was saying, they were saying Kaka, right? They weren't saying...
That was they were
feel
asking
like his name...
they were asking CDEC about their own team, like who they think's like the biggest feeder or something. I think it was. Oh, quickly interrupting that. Speaking of Kaka, he's been caught out. He's got boots, but the body block is there, and Inflame helps secure his team a first blood. Really nice play from CDEC. I can't remember the exact question, but what they did, I think they were asking them like to say something to their opponents, and EHOME was very much like, "Oh, please don't kill me, Inflame." Like they were kind of like bantering a bit with him, but very much it was all targeted towards Inflame. And then Inflame's like, "Oh, I'm just going to kill all of you." So
yeah, I do feel like it's kind of like the tournament organizers encourage the players to create more banter than they actually wanted to, so probably doesn't mean that much.
No, I wouldn't take anything away from it. The players were actually having fun with it on both sides, so I don't think anything was actually that personal as far as what was said there. As far as some of the feelings, like you mentioned, CTY being the replacement for Inflame on the EHOME team, maybe there is a bit of a desire for some revenge.
So look at this.
Oh, he doesn't scout him yet. He will now. Does not get the rolling boulder away, and Kaka can chase him down with boots. 10 seconds before another rolling boulder's got good regen with the Tango's Mango and Fairy Fire, though.
Yeah, he's not going to die. He's just going to push him out. It's interesting that I wanted to say EHOME left CTY to solo in the safe lane with Anti-Mage again at the start of this game. And I think almost anticipating that, CDEC Youth have sent 2 heroes down here. Their Spectre and their Shadow Shaman. Shadow Shaman trying to pull across this camp here. It's actually going to succeed.
This is not actually too difficult of a camp to pull. It's a pretty nifty thing you can do in the Dire offlane. Night Circle will come swoop in, but damage has been done. This creep wave is going to die to the neutrals, except for what Kaka can last hit himself, and even CTY blinking in to try and secure some of this much needed farm.
Yes, it's one of the changes that has been made to balance both sides, being able to offlaners can pull. Just I feel like you don't see this pull happening that often because you hardly ever see the Radiant side not protecting their safe lane recently.
And it seems a lot, this area in general, in the Radiant safe lane, it's a lot easier for the supports to stop that big camp pull.
Or mid lane.
Whoa, okay, rotation demons. You know, we've had 9 games today, we'll good so far, but we've missed first blood in our final game of the day. It was bound to happen eventually, guys. Bound to happen.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing too special.
Blood,
demons hit his spells.
Just kidding, we did not miss first blood, so we're good. We're in the clear. We have officially not missed first blood on the final day here at Radiant Dire Cup.
So my concern that I actually forgot about, I was starting to make the point earlier than the fight broke out. The Shadow Shaman, like, I accept that it doesn't have to be an all-in push strat. It has more like versatility as a hero, but I definitely think part of the justification for this hero is that when it does get level 6, you get a few towers. And I have a concern that like that's going to depend a lot on how the lane stage goes, because if EHOME are looking pretty strong coming out of the lane stage, then I don't know if Shadow Shaman's going to be able to run at those towers, because the hero itself is just going to be so squishy for like Night Stalker, Invoker, and Nyx, someone to pick off.
Yeah, it's a very scary game to be playing Shadow Shaman against these heroes.
Yeah, so they like need the clock and the Earth Spirit and the pack to be in a good enough position that when they push a tower, those heroes can kind of act as bodyguards for the Shadow Shaman to get those wards off.
Oh, Lanham in position to go for a Courier Snipe. The Courier not upgradable just yet. We're still pre-3 minutes, and it looks like he's going to get it with the bottle. Oh no. Something you just maybe forget about. You're playing that game at the end of the night. You've had a long day. And CDEC Youth do not keep tabs of the Pugner's position and get punished. They may find
this is
a
actually
kill.
a lane that...
Lanham lurks around. Has a TP scroll. He can just TP out if he wants to, but I don't even think he needs to.
Yeah. He's free. He's a free Pugner. He can do what he wants. Inflame's actually been doing really well in this mid lane. I mean, they've been about even. Occasionally I see him going slightly ahead, but losing out on the bottle, not ideal for him. I don't know if it necessarily affects the dynamic in terms of the last hits.
Bottom lane, CTY going aggressive, and it looks like they may get a kill nicely here. Kaka's diving it, looking for the void, but he's going to turn and shackle. CTY comes in, secures the kill. Can AIM get a counter kill? He's looking to stand his ground and fight. Has a Fairy Fire available as well. And a blink out from CTY will get him back to safety.
Yeah, so the one hero's farm definitely is suffering early on is the Spectre's farm, and I don't know, we spoke in the first game about how CTY on Anti-Mage like, sure, we saw earlier on this morning, Burning's anti-mage gets a good start, doesn't quite make it. But it's kind of like getting over the second hump. You know, if you get the good start, you get your Battle Fury, and then you start using your Battle Fury and not dying too much. CDEC.Y is a player who like just doesn't lose those games. So maybe at the beginning of that dynamic here, and the Specs is actually in big trouble here. That's a DD Night Stalker.
And they're going to TP in the Shaman, but it looks like it will be too late. Night Stalker gets another kill for the team. CDEC.Y actually got the last hit for the first kill as well, so that was actually possibly even a better result for them. They're looking to make a counterplay at top lane on the CDEC side. 11, though, he's got a lot of experience, a lot of levels, gets the Carapace off, and they don't even come close to getting that kill, realistically. Mid lane now, Inflame in some trouble. He's already committed the Illusionary Orb. He's going to get tornadoed up underneath the Nether Ward. A kill goes EHOME's way. Old Chicken on the Invoker. Now with a bit of an edge in this mid lane, I imagine.
With the Spectre at this bot lane, you know, I feel like this is like a laning style that Team Secret started, like sending your one position to the offlane at the start. And a lot of people say that the main reason for that is just to give, well, in their case, Misery value in the safe lane. But the Clockwork's actually not having a great lane up here either. Like, getting seriously outfarmed by the Nyx Assassin. So, sort of everywhere on the map, I feel like EHOME is starting to get advantages.
Yep. And just looking at the CS, it's 3 lanes being won effectively by EHOME. They're topping the charts everywhere, and some of the heroes are really struggling. A Spectre as well as the Clockwork. The Puck probably the one lane where you can look at it and be like, yeah, it's kind of a bit more even, and you can't just say it's been won by the Invoker. But this lane only gets harder for the Puck now that Invoker will have Phase Boots up, has the level 1 Alacrity. Last hitting is not exactly easy.
Yeah, I do expect that Spectre gets the safe lane once Clockwork's level 6. Clockwork gets to move out, maybe even sooner than that by the looks of things. And as I was saying before, that's June's impact on the game is going to be extremely significant.
Oh, they're coming in to contest this top rune. They've got the Netherward on the high ground. Kaka, can he grab the bounty rune? You betcha. They'll get the kill on Inflame, and AIM not trapped up here. He can maneuver around. Another
and
big
11
kill.
actually got caught out as well on his way to the rune, but like they just didn't have the tools to kill him. He got his Carapace off, and like that Shadow Shaman and Earthspread using all their mana and just
AIM? It will be close, but the Clockwork TP will keep AIM alive, it looks like. Invoker seeing it, did not want to keep on chasing. He loops around, though, has not got the mana for a Void, but he has got the Nyx backing him up. Kaka looking to try and just create the space to chase this one down. The Cogs will prevent it. Kaka breaks through the Cogs, will be punished by this one. Clockwork, nice little bit of body block action, and on the top lane, it's all 11. He carapaces the Orb, it looks like, in the Tornado to back him up. Could save his life here. Not quite level 6, but he's got a salve. He's going to pop that one, and June needs to be careful. He's on the front lines. We'll get one last Cogs push off, and I imagine it's time for him to head back to base and heal up. Inflame, he's committed in hard. He will be forced to orb out. The Impale from Old 11, not there in time. Not really able to land it with the orb as well as the phase shift being used. And CDEC, everyone just being... You've got 3 heroes just training their way back to the fountain. That kind of summarizes the state of the game. And when there's an anti-mage going untouched, that's a big worry.
Yeah, it's a problem for them. The Spectre and the Shadow Shaman left the bot lane, and Clock still hasn't been there. Like, no one's going to replace them. The anti-mage is just getting a free lane. It's not meant to work that way. It's meant to be like switch around, still maybe put some pressure on him. And this is looking a lot like his game 1 at the moment.
He picks up a Bassi ring. Interesting. He really wants to pressure this tier 1 tower. He's like, you guys are going to leave my lane empty? Well, I'm going to push your tower now. So a Bassi ring purchase for the CDEC.Y anti-mage. I see at top. Caught out by a Vendetta Nyx, and we talked about how bad of a game this could be for the Shaman. We're seeing it now as he gets picked off by the first 11 Vendetta gank, and CDEC.Y just bullying June underneath the tower with Tangos and Ring of Health here. He feels confident that he can just take this fight. Needs to be a bit careful with this courier. It looks like he wants to just chew through that last Tango and then happily take that Bassering and farm away in this lane. Whoop, back in the mid lane, Demons. Already committing a few spells here to look to get the hell out of dodge here as EHOME continuing to play aggressive while CDEC.Y farms.
It doesn't matter if EHOME, like, usually you'd say, oh look, EHOME committed 4 heroes to the mid lane, didn't make a kill. That doesn't matter because they have the CDEC.Y anti-mage. They can keep committing 4 heroes, and even when they don't get the kill, as long as they get like some reaction out of the enemy team, they're fine. And I think CDEC Youth know that, and that's why they're aiming to go direct, straight at CDEC.Y right now, and they need to make this kill.
Can he scout this one? He's got a Radiant Ward. He may spot it in time. He gets hit by the Boulder Stuff. So there's the first silence, the Hex, the Shackles. CDEC.Y will be chained down. I guess you could say, if he gets vision of them with that Radiant Ward and pops their smoke, maybe he gets the blink away, but it looks like he was just slightly off the mark for it. Still for CDEC Youth, it's a big commitment.
Yeah, it's an important time to make an important kill. This push Shadow Shaman, like I noticed earlier, like had enough gold for boots, just couldn't get them to himself, and I think they're on the career now. Eventually he'll get his boots, but it's not really gonna make a big difference when Night Stalker at nighttime or Nyx is running at you. And speaking of Nyx, there is a sentry on IC.
Well, he's fishing for it. He gets the Impel, gets hexed up before the mana, but I'm not sure if he had the damage anyways. And Demons and Rolling Boulder out of this one. Maybe the CTY Anti-Mage is going to look for the mana void. Doesn't look like he's going to find it though. June gets a great cogs push, zones out 3 heroes, and CTY will be forced back. And Puck rotating in once again has a haste rune as well. Level 7 Puck. Not able to really do too much. His team is all on the retreat, and I think Inflame's going to decide to just head back mid, get a few more levels, as he'd love to get some more points into those 2 nukes of his.
It's very interesting to me that CTY actually bought the entire Ring of Aquila. I don't feel like this is a common build-up on Anti-Mage. It can be disassembled for the Vlads later, but it's like that extra rate band for early effectiveness.
It's CTY the lane dominator, and he wants to continue that, I guess, and be able to possibly even fight pre-Battle Fury to some extent. When you get an item like this, he's holding onto a TP scroll, so if anything, this says CTY recognizes that his team's ahead, and maybe by coming, he'll have opportunities to come to fights because he's ahead. Top lane, Kaka getting jumped on. A nice little initiation here. Pugner's there, TPing in, but they may lose Kaka before this. He gets off a Void, gets silenced up to follow that one. Demons maybe slightly in a bit too deep here. Can they turn this one around with old 11? They'll get the Puck off to the side. The Earth Spirit still trapped for the time being. Hasn't got a TP out, but it doesn't look like they're going to go fishing for him. Old 11 and Alanam just happy with the 1 kill on the Puck, and probably unawares that Demons is still lurking around in the trees.
Yeah, it's a perfectly good trade for EHOME, I would say. Yeah, I mean, they don't mind if the Night Stalker goes down. It's kind of a support, although the Spectre like needs to find space to get farm, because that's not going to be an issue for Anti-Mage. Sure, they killed him once, it's an important kill, but I think they're going to struggle to keep killing CTY. Eventually, he's going to get his battle free and start that farming mission. And Spectre already naturally like gets behind the Anti-Mage because it can't buy a battle free and farm the way Anti-Mage does. So super important, I think, to find that space.
Anti-Mage just getting an uncontested tower, and he knows Inflame has no orb out. He goes for the mana void kill, doesn't quite get an Inflame. Bottle will heal him back up. Very close to a kill there. Just needed 1 additional right click before the mana void. And he takes a tier 1 tower, so that's like Inflame just TP'd to the lane after respawning, instantly gets taken down to low HP, and does not get the tower tonight. That's like dream scenario for EHOME, other than the fact they didn't get the kill.
Look at top lane. Have you seen, Demons has been there for like the last 2 minutes.
He's been trying to set up for this play, but I don't even know if he can. The Boulder Smash comes. It doesn't reach though. Even if it had, I don't think it would have saved the Spectre perhaps. And now they know he's in here. They cancel the TP. They get the Vision with the Tornado into a Cold Snap, and Demons, his Rolling Boulder gets blocked off. EHOME making all the right plays here in game number 3. Get themselves a very big early game lead.
It's so bad. I mean, he wasted forever to try and help out his Spectre, and then when the play finally comes, they just both die. And if you look at the net worths, it's like we're one more positive fight for EHOME, and they could suddenly have like all 5 of the heroes right at the top.
They're looking to make a bit of a Ratto to play in the mid lane. Icy going to get taken out, and that's also Serpent Wards to farm. They get a bit of damage dealt there, but I'm not sure it's worth it. They're trying to make a play, it looks like, at the top lane. Spectre has Haunted on in. It looks like he'll get 1 kill on a support Pugner. Across the board, though, again, if you're EHOME, you're thinking, that's probably worth it. We kill a Shaman, we lose a Pugner, we kill some Serpent Wards, and better than anything, Anti-Mage is farming.
Yeah, and that was my point about CDEC Youth with the Shadow Shaman. It's their only tool for really getting towers early on. They need to get the towers because they're going to get out-farmed in terms of just creeps. But every time Shadow Shaman runs up to a tower on his own, he's going to die in this game. Every single time.
And something important to note is Old Chicken, not messing around, rushes the 4-staff against the Clockwork. Very useful tool to have, and this is going to give CDEC Youth even more problems in finding and securing these kills.
Yeah, it's something that we actually saw, I think it was Shiki doing a couple of days ago with the 4-staff Rush and Invoker, opting not to go for the regular Orchid or Yules or whatever combo build-ups. Just like making sure to have that utility, that control, and we definitely saw in this series already the importance of having 4-staffs versus not having them.
Spectre's being caught out here, the Impel to lead things here. Lanam following it up, gets the Decrep Life Drain off, and AIM is going down. That Cold Snap helping secure the kill. The TP cancel as Invoker is ready with a Tornado, and here we go, it's the fighting Anti-Mage. Treads, Max Blink, he's good to go. has that Ring of Aquila, and he's happy to join up with his team, help push down some towers, and ensure that fights continue to go well for the EHOME squad here in game number 3.
Yeah, there's a serious lack of damage for CDEC at the moment. Like, if they want to take a fight, unless it's like a pick-off with like 2 or 3v1, they just don't have the damage output right now. Earth Spirit's level 6 coming up, yeah, right about now. So that'll help them out. That's where they're gonna get more damage from if they do take a fight.
This smoke needs to work. June's looking to set up on the Invoker, but he misses the hook, and there was a 4-staff anyways. I'm not even sure they find that with the hookshot landing. Puck didn't even have a blink to follow it up, so it would have been a hard kill regardless. And Old 11 charging forward gets hit by the orb, but Inflame needs to be careful here. And Impale could set this one up. Anti-Mage is lurking nearby. Inflame seems to be where he's going to go for the Vendetta hit. He gets greedy and it pays off. He gets the kill on the Puck. Inflame taken out, and with that, the Blink Dagger slowed down even further. And they're not done getting kills. I don't think Icy's getting out of this one. He's been spotted, and Kaka going to lead the charge, and they'll get another kill. Kaka halfway to an Aghanim Scepter now as well.
And that's going to put Inflame on tilt, surely, because that's not a... I mean, because the Nyx was greedy, he should be able to phase shift. Yeah. He's really close to his blink. He could have avoided the death, maybe, and he dies. I think that's something that maybe puts the player a bit on tilt.
Yep. I definitely agree there, and I don't think without the Vendetta hit, it was not going to be a kill, so he went for it, and fortunately for Puck, not quite awares. As bottom lane, we'll see Old Chicken now rotate in. They're still leaving CTY top. He's going to get hookshot. They are trying to engage in it. They need the coach push. They'll get it with a silence here. Kaka comes in. The haunt from AIM, and it looks like CTY a bit too aggressive, but they'll get a counterplay. They bring down Puck in return. Kaka now looking to go on the run here. Still nighttime for a little bit longer. By a little bit longer, I mean a couple of seconds. Daytime hits, and Kaka suddenly not entirely sure what his escape plan is going to be. Old 11 is there with an Impale as well as the Vendetta. Carapace going to turn this one around. He pops it. Does he go for the kill? But the Sentry, what is there? Icy! Nice, effective play coming out from the Shadow Shaman. Will get the kill. And they get a third one under the Night Stalker. Invoker's got to be careful now. He's 4-staffed himself away. Very heads up from Shadow Shaman with the Sentry there, and making sure the retreat was not successful by EHOME.
AIM got, very importantly, AIM got a lot of gold out of that. He's suddenly catching up to the top of the net worth. He's got 2,300 gold, so what he builds into it right now, I'm not too sure. Like, can he afford to save for the relic? Not clear, but the point is he's found a way to get gold, and which
he might get a tier 1 tower.
Was looking like...
I think they realized giving him this tier 1 tower is a bad idea. Invoker's TP'd in with a tornado, so tower likely to be denied here, as we'll see EHOME slightly suggest they want to go on chase, but not exactly having the catch they need, especially at daytime.
And the good news for CDEC.Y is he finished his Battle Fury before he died at the top lane, so as soon as he spawned, got back to farming, and he's already got nearly another 1,000 gold, and the farming game is going to keep going while the rest of his team 4-man smokes into the enemy jungle.
Yep, they're making their move here. Demons on the Earth Spirit, going to be the one they catch out here. There's Impale if they need it. He's looking to just block the rolling boulder, and doesn't manage to do so. Old 11. I think he was just being a bit too greedy there, going for a secondary kill. And Lan M now going to get 4-stuff out of the cogs. Good defensive play coming out from the Invoker. Old 11 on full retreat. They're going to Impale up AIM. Anti-Mage not at this fight, so EHOME probably going to think twice before they take it. And also not getting that initial kill onto Demons means they don't really want to try and fight this one 4v5.
So Lanham's actually bought an Aether Lens on Pugna in this game, and I know that it definitely helps with the drain. I believe it also lets you place your ward deeper in like trees.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool when you're pushing.
Nice. Yep. I totally agree. And that's, I mean, the Netherwood has a very short cast range, so a 200 increase is, I believe, like doubling the cast range or something. So
yeah. So, I mean, it hasn't come up yet because we haven't seen them ready grouped to push yet, but it's going to be an annoyance that CDEC Youth probably just won't be able to deal with when it does start happening. Yep. So the focus for them, I think, moves straight onto that Spectre, who looks like he is saving for a relic, feels that it's necessary to go for that big item, because otherwise the anti-mage is just going to outscale you if you go for a smaller item this early on.
Go big or go home is currently the CDEC Youth plan here. Nightstalker at bottom could be on the receiving end of this gank. Actually off to the side, Old 11 will scout out some of these heroes. He's pinged the Puck, and Question is if he goes for the kill. He goes for the Impale. He'll hit it after the Vendetta, but there's the counter initiation. Clockworks come in. Old 11 needs a force up, which he'll get the Haunt from Spectre. I don't think he wants to dive this tower, and it looks like EHOME will reset and group up at the tower. Haunt gets put on cooldown, and I think CDEC Youth will just back off and probably rotate back towards their side of the map. Make sure they protect the Spectre's farm at this point. Probably not looking to take a fight while Haunt's on cooldown. And the hit team just not quite ready to go.
So do you think, so this is the parts of CCY's build up where he usually buys the Hyperstone, but he's against a Puck and a Earth Spirit that can silence him. Do you think that he just still goes for the Hyperstone, or is this a game where he goes straight into the Manta style?
I'd like to believe he goes for the Manta style, but I've seen time and time again CTY will do his thing. And he's proven that it does work, so I mean, I don't even feel like I should be questioning it, because for CTY, his anti-mage build, we've seen like the casual Hyperstone picked. I think Burning got Manta before, yeah, he did get Manta before the casual Hyperstone, but it has been a build which works for CTY, so whatever he does, I'm just going to believe it's the right build. That's how I look at it right now.
I mean, it's about play, right? He's just confident. Like, if he buys the Hyperstone, he's confident that he's not going to get into a position where he dies and he would have lived with Manta.
Kaka will get a D-ward off onto a Sentry as well as Observer ward. It's a handy D-ward for them. It looks like June did not manage to sneak by here. He's in position to get scouted out. Old 11 ready with a Vendetta. He's got backup coming soon. There's the Vendetta Impale. Nether ward gets dropped and June picked off near the mid lane. CDC just want a tower here. They're going to drop the Serpent wards, even acknowledging that this tower may just get glyphed and defended and the Serpent ward's lost, but they want to force heroes to rotate here. They're trying to just create room for Spectre if possible. AIM actually with them this time around, but I'm not sure this tower is going to be something that CDEC Youth can commit for.
Well, CCY actually is going for the Manta style.
Oh wow.
It's got the recipe on the courier, it's at the shop.
In
Pretty sure he's
flame.
about to pick up the...
Tried to get the tower. Instead, he's going to leave his team on the backlines, possibly called out. AIM in a lot of trouble here. He's got no TP. It was cancelled by the backlines of EHOME. He's going to dagger himself into the trees, but what's the escape plan? He may just want to haunt to the anti-mage, but that in itself is a massive risk, and Old 11 seems to know exactly where AIM is here. What's the plan going to be? The TP's already been cancelled, and EHOME know that. That tornado will not hit. They're pinging further down. Old 11 guesses and guesses wrong. He's going to TP out. It looks like they're going to give up, fishing around and wasting their time for this Spectre. Either way, it's a lot of wasted time for Spectre stuck in these trees.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with the Relic just desperately trying to get that Radiance, because the first Radiance fight is probably like the best chance CDEC Youth are going to have in this game to, you know, turn around the dynamic. But if he can't get to the Radiance, I mean, look at the farm on Kaka, actually. He's very close to an Aghanim Scepter, and I almost feel like at that point it's like that's where the EHOME just start to choke CDEC completely out of the game.
Yep. Because the Radiance alone, the Spectre can still very easily get caught, and he's not really able to kind of prevent himself getting picked off. And often the plan with the Spectre is to be farming a lane with Radiance while your team go look for that 4-man gank. But if EHOME ever decide to go towards the Spectre and try and kill him, they can do so very easily.
Yeah. The issue is that I don't think CDEC farm their way back into this game. They got to take a fight or two. Yep. It's impossible to imagine them farming their way in. And AIM's actually almost caught just outside his base. They do ping out the next and he pings away.
CTY will pick himself up a tier 2 tower, and then they're just going to back off. Another Serpent Ward drop on the tier 1 top tower. We've seen time and time again these Serpent Wards used in a kind of very, I almost want to say, it's used to take towers, but not really to commit to towers. They're using them in defensive postures where they'll drop the Serpent Wards and just back off and leave the Serpent Wards to kind of be taken and force these rotations. Demons will not be caught by the Night Stalker.
His Axe is on the courier.
Yeah.
Like, if it was there, they'd probably catch both those heroes.
Yep. They're fishing.
And
you can see Lanham checking the trees, Old 11 doing the same.
It's a very clear demonstration. If CDEC tried to go for similar plays, pushing when they can try and like get some split value, now that Night Stalker's Axe, they're going to get punished for it that much more often.
Puck just farming up the lane a bit. Will blink TP, CTY. Slightly off the mark with his blink. He guesses wrong. That would have been a costly bit of greed from Inflame if he'd been caught there.
And it does look like CTY might just skip his casual Hyperstone completely in this game. I wouldn't be too surprised if he just starts building into the Abyssal or the BKB, something more like combat orientated.
He's got 3k gold now, so may look to head towards that secret shop to at least buy something. Links into to farm some Ancients, and CTY in a very good position for his team to win this game number 3 decider. It's crazy to think Anti-Mage has been the key hero in this Grand Finals. After all the death ball we've seen from the CDEC Youth squad throughout the tournament, after some of the funky picks we've been seeing from Vici, the EHOME Timbersaws, in the Grand Finals it's just been CTY Anti-Mage in Game 1, and now CTY Anti-Mage in Game 3. It's the tried and tested, and they feel confident in it, and so far so good. Inflame again, caught out by the Vendetta Impale, and no, he won't get the last right click off. Inflame, can he get the blink out? No, he gets mana voided. Perhaps just a little bit too slow, but here comes AIM. He's got the Radiance. He's looking to chase down, but Kaka's there. Has the Aghanim Scepter. He's got the vision control. They see Demons off to the side. They're going to blink in on him. The Boulder Smash catches out 2 Demons. Needs his escape, but he's got Silence on top of him. Old Chicken in the backlines. He's going to BKB on Invoker. Very defensive build from him, and it's paying off, allowing him to just charge on in. And Icy, caught out, will be going down here. The Clockwork possibly as well if he hasn't got a fast retreat. And Anti-Mage says, retreat? Nope, I don't know how to do that. Let's blink forward, take some more creeps. And EHOME, we're in such a good position there to fight. The Ags just purchased on Night Stalker. The BKB just picked up for Old Chicken. Good stuff.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And for EHOME, they're not going to stop there. It doesn't look like they want to commit to the tier 2 bottom tower quite just yet, but CTY now picking up a Reaver. He's going to look to tank up and kind of become just an unkillable anti-mage at this rate. It will be a Heart of Taras for him, and dealing with an anti-mage is starting to look more and more impossible as time goes on, Scan.
Yeah, and I think the success of the anti-mage in both Game 1 and Game 3 has quite a bit to do with the fact that CDEC probably didn't see the pick coming. I mean, it's weird because you know that CTY likes it, but in that first game they had an Alchemist, and so it looked quite greedy to go for the anti-mage. They made it work because they had a plan for laning it against the Nature's Prophet. And in this game, it looked a lot like EHOME was setting up to push and apply early pressure, so maybe not expecting it. And they did the right thing, CDEC. They ran an aggressive lane against it, but they didn't have the right heroes for it. I mean, a Shadow Shaman Spectre is just not the lane to put pressure on anti-mage.
I feel like you can't even entirely fault the Spectre pick. It was very much, they committed to the Spectre before they even saw the Anti-Mage. The Spectre was the 5th pick, and then it was responded to by an Anti-Mage last pick from EHOME. So for EHOME, it was very much just fighting the greedy pick of the Spectre with a greedy pick of their own. And see, Icy, throw a Blind Dust there, perhaps just guessing that there may be a Nyx Assassin nearby, or maybe just misclicking the item that he was looking for. Either way, it's going to be off the mark, and EHOME continue to get farm across the board.
And Heart's actually got, I mean, what I would say is an unnecessary buff. I mean, well, maybe not the right kind of buff, but it got a buff recently. It basically makes you just like, if you're out of damage for a few seconds, you're full HP, always. And that's a big deal, because if you look at CDEC's lineup, like, do they have the capacity to burst down the anti-mage? Is that something they could actually do in this game? I mean, he could...
I don't feel like it. Like the burst damage is just not there. They've got a ton of control, but chances are there's going to be a Nyx Assassin counter initiation, an Invoker Tornado, Night Stalker silencing someone. I just don't think they can burst through 2.6k worth of HP on an anti-mage who currently only has 2 points in Spell Shield, but you got to imagine, give it another level or two, and this will be a maxed out Spell Shield, adding 50% magic resistance on top of what he's already got. So
with the Heart regen, he can just play as a Slark. I mean, if he ever gets into some danger in a fight, blink out, wait a few seconds, come back in. Like, it's just not something they're going to be able to deal with.
I imagine that's a large reason why he felt the Heart was just going to be the item in this game. BKB gives him a bit more fight presence so he doesn't get locked down, but he's probably thinking, if they're throwing all their spells at me, it probably means my team is cleaning up. He doesn't mind if he's being disabled in fight, as long as he's not dying, and I just... When you're doubling up the net worth of a Spectre, there's very little chance of you dying. They've caught Old 11 in mid lane, but he gets the Carapace off. He's going to turn and Impale as well. The gem pickup for the Puck, trying to secure some kills, but it's going to be Demons in the end who goes down. Puck just saying, I want out. He does not want to get caught and lose this gem. For EHOME, they're just going to back off and happily play the farm game for a little bit longer. Can they cancel this TP? Kaka, maybe a second too late to get up there. And they're not even going to push out this top lane. They're just ditching the creep wave and running back towards mid, possibly thinking Roshan. It seems they are kind of funneling around towards that Dire secret shop, ignoring a pretty big creep wave at top lane. Definitely looking to take an objective here.
Fuck, gonna get caught out here, actually.
Tornado. Not going to hit, but they get the Nether Ward proc. The Yule Scepter used there defensively. Gets off another phase shift. He's just being ping-ponged around in the air, but this time he goes down. Gem is lost. CDEC.Y gives it the exclamation mark. Perhaps an unnecessary mana void, but at this stage he hasn't even used the ultimate in such a long time. He just needs some stat padding, and into the Roche Pit we go with EHOME being gifted a free Gem of Truth. No, they've actually already had one, so they don't need the second one. It's not as big a gold swing as maybe otherwise you'd expect, but either way, it's a big loss for the CDEC side.
Yeah, and it's been a bit of a weird series, actually. The first game and this one looking more and more alike as fairly one-sided games. The second game was action-packed, it was a thriller, especially right at the end, and it's starting to make me think like we actually did get the CDEC.Y show. That's what we asked for, and you know, like the games where EHOME's winning, he's just like so far ahead and no one can do anything about him. And the game that they lost had a lot to do, definitely, with both CDEC.Y and Old Chicken just showing a little impatience early on and dying a bit too much, getting behind at the start.
And possibly, I even think a bit of it was maybe the laning to, like, they ran the gyro mid instead of in the safe lane, so I think even the strategic choice just gave them such a terrible start, which then kind of snowballed out of control when they made some of those bad plays. But EHOME now looking like they want to breach high ground. CDEC.Y is even close to a butterfly now, just about 1,000 gold short of it. If he sells his Aquila, he may even have just about the money for it, so Nether Ward in the trees. Actually, no, not in the trees, just being planted on the ground. When you're that confident, you don't even need to hide the Nether Ward. You know something's going right for you.
Yeah, it's actually, it's like a statement. It's bait. I dare you to come attack this ward.
Anti-Mage is bringing out the courier, so this is going to be Butterfly being picked up for CDEC.Y in just a second now.
Spectre's trying to split push, but not exactly the fastest pushing hero, and these are probably just going to be Raxes. Like, the only fights I see working for CDEC is if Earth Spirit does one of those crazy plays we never see where, you know, somehow sets up the ulti first, then silences.
They're going to Spectre Horde, they've got two heroes coming in from the backlines. Watch out for June's Clockwork, as well as Demons on the Earth Spirit. The Boulder Smash will not hit Old Chicken, who BKBs at the perfect time. Demons going in, looking for the Magnetize, will do some okay damage off of it, but he's going to pay for it with his life. Serpent Wards get dropped, but EHOME are just tanking their way through. Mana Void onto 2, and aim as the Spectre is just being forced back into his own base. They've taken out the melee racks, and CDEC.Y, he wants more, he wants blood. He's got a butterfly on the career, needs to drop that Ring of Aquila, which he'll do when this is likely.
Look at his HP go up.
Oh, hello. Was that? Oh, that was actually the puck back in the middle of the fight there. Okay. CDEC.Y, meanwhile, taking the lanes of Raxes, and I don't think this is just a lane or two of Rax. This is GG at this point. He blinks forward onto the Clockwork, just baiting them back into their own base, shepherding them away, and it's GG. CDEC Youth, they had a great run, a great story for them, but it's going to be EHOME in the end who take the championship.
And it's interesting because the story of EHOME in this tournament